the walls. We're breaking free. Yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression. It's out for liberty. Breaking free. Yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts. We're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting louder, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting louder, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. Reclaiming our land, yeah.
I hate this show. Oh my goodness.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Are You Smarter Than a Politician? This is the political cage match where bold solutions win and bad ideas get wrecked. Tonight on Are You Smarter Than a Politician? The war for your mind takes center stage. From censorship to surveillance, from the rewriting of history to the manipulation of money, nothing's off limits. We'll dive into secret programs, foreign influence, federal overreach, and the comeback of psychedelics. Three of America's sharpest political minds face off tonight, taking on propaganda, power, and the price of freedom. This is the Mind War, and it starts now. Joining us again, my buddy, Mike Scott. He is with Solutionary Unit. No, he's not. That's we got some wrong stuff on there, but yeah, Sherry's shaking her head no. But he's at Mike Scott, one word on X, and the rest is Maj. So if you like Maj, you can follow Maj too. So sorry about that, Mike. How are you tonight?
No, I told Terry to put up Maj's stuff because I wasn't promoting anything, and Lord knows I'm not running for office this time. And I appreciate what the man does. I appreciate the solutionary mindset and how he's going into the hood and training folks. I don't know why libertarianism isn't an easier sell for black folks, because small government's the only thing that ever kept us free.
Absolutely. I did a bunch of shows where we talked about that, about, you know, that the government steps on, you know, people in urban environments more than, you know, anybody else. And so I don't know why it's not an easier sell.
I mean, I think there's no crime in the Ukrainian, any Eastern European immigrants. There's no crime, because all you ever hear about are Muslims and brown folks eating geese and stabbing chicks on subways. It's stoking up a certain kind of anti-immigration. Whereas the Ukrainian chick who has a kid by somebody who's, you know, a 24-year-old meth head in Ocean City, that kid's just American. The Somalian chick who does the same thing, her kid's Somalian and his kid is too. I don't know, man. We're becoming kind of an apartheid state.
Well, that was a nice light way to start the show. Thank you for that. And,
I apologize. Dang it.
Whoever had apartheid on the bingo card, they're winning right now. So, all right. So we did want to promote Maj because we love Maj too. So you could follow Black Guns Matter and Maj Touré Solutionary University, which I am a member of. I highly recommend giving them the $100 and joining that and getting the lifetime membership to Solutionary University. So thank you for putting that in there, Mike. And thank you, Terry, for telling me that I was supposed to do that, because that was confusing for me. So, all right. So it's going. Oh, yeah. Keep yourself muted. Yeah. All right. But also joining us again, another buddy of mine, David Fite. He is the host of the Fight for Liberty podcast. That's on all the channels, YouTube, Rumble, X. You can follow him on X at David Fite or at Fight for Liberty. How are you tonight, David?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back. I'm excited to learn some stuff and try to get as many points as possible. What's up, chat?
And promote the show while I got you up.
Yeah, check out the Fight for Liberty show. It's back up now. We took a couple months off while I was moving, but we're doing episodes again. It'll be every Wednesday night, starting like in a few days, and we're gonna have some really awesome guests to kick it back off. But I can't actually tell you who any of them are yet. But yeah, go follow at Fight for Liberty so that you can keep up to date on those announcements as they come out in the next couple days.
Excellent. Sounds exciting. And joining us for the first time is Jake Day. He is at Whiskey Smiles on X and has a great show. Thanks for joining us, Jake. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. I'm just wondering how I get some of that tea that Mike has, because I need some of that.
the fentanyl flavored leaves. Promote your show while I got you up.
You know, my show's been kind of hit and miss. I'm kind of a free agent at the moment. I'm exploring to do some more collaborative panel type of shows versus just doing one-on-one stuff. So I'm a free agent at the moment.
Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye out for your next project, and that'll be exciting. And joining us, as always, the lovely Terry Batts, the producer of the show, the one that makes this all happen. And as I just demonstrated to you, does stuff that I don't even know is going on. So how are you tonight, Terry?
That was so much fun. I'm kidding.
I thought you confused our two favorite black people. I thought that's what really happened there.
Never. They are completely different. Mike is so much more handsome. I love you too.
Oh, so we're off to a great start. You can follow Terry and I'm Freedom for Us for All. She is Bats T76 on X. You can get our sweet swag at freedomsuperstore.com. I am wearing the Make Anarchy Great Again shirt tonight. We've got a bunch of shirts, a bunch of mugs. Go there and check it out and help support the show. We are on YouTube and Rumble at Freedom Uncut. And our sponsor for the Friday night show is Xano. Tired of surveillance coins dressed up as freedom tech? Xano is the real deal. Open source, enterprise grade privacy, scalable and secure. Build, spend, and tokenize any asset without the peeping eyes. Xano isn't just private. It's none of their damn business. If you're new to this space, visit intro.xano.org to learn how Xano gives you the power to own your own data, your money, and your assets, all in one simple, secure platform built for real-world freedom. And that's intro.xano.org. And thank you, Xano, for sponsoring us. Also want to thank our subscribers. Terry pays to be here, so thank you, Terry. Amity's up there. Thank you, Amity. Ocean Blue, go check out her amazing artwork. Shirley joins us from across the pond and supports the show. We appreciate her. Dr. Belay and Lisa Belay, awesome friends of mine, and thank you for supporting the show. We've got Dan up there, Chris Townsend. We've got Casey, who's American versus Gov and does the They Both Suck podcast. And also Dave Krantz, who was on the last show and is running for the state house in Virginia, is on here. Go to Dave and give him a few bucks. Help him with the last couple of weeks of his race. Appreciate you, Dave. And if you subscribe to us on X, you'll get exclusive content and events, show credit, discounts on merch, instant follow and priority DMs. This is your backstage pass. And if you want to sponsor this show, we get over 10,000 engaged viewers per show. If you're looking for freedom-minded and interactive shows, that's us. And you can reach us at studio@freedomuncut.com if you want to sponsor us. So, all right, let's jump into the chat real quick and say hi to some folks. Wow, a lot going on so far. Here we go. Chriser's here. We got a driving update. I think we're getting GPS information. So is that Townsend? I don't know who that is. Shirley, welcome from across the pond. Kilburn reposted. Thank you. Appreciate that. There's Patty. Happy Free Day. There we go. Forest Mommy's here. She did awesome on the Ladies for Liberty show. Welcome back. Dan's here. Happy Friday. Congrats to everyone who has not had to Google Transaminitis? I don't know what that is.
Now I have to.
Yeah, and well, they do the hard words on Friday because they know I'm a wreck by Friday night. So that's scientific signature move there. 100 to Mike for being so damn handsome. 100 to Mike for government abuse. 200 to Mike, small government keeps us free. Welcome to the Deep Thoughts with Mike Scott, 200 points. 100 to David for the jars of marmalade. 200 to Jake for being the only contestant that's had me on his podcast. Ooh. Yeah, check out that show. Amity was great on that. That was a really good one. Minus 14 to David for sucking up to the chat. What's up, Gnome? Hi to Terry. And shots fired, Maj. Ooh. All right. All right, so let's jump into it here. Welcome back to Are You Smarter Than a Politician? Please share this out. Help us bust the algorithm. I don't think X likes me sometimes, so every little bit of help is what's made this show what it is, so we appreciate y'all. The winner would get the Ron Paul holding the Ron Paul trophy. Also, if you miss the government during this shutdown and the zero that they provide to you, you can do a do-it-yourself federal government at home. You just unpack nothing and it'll do nothing right in your own home. We also have Mike Johnson's signature cologne, Swamp Ass, and the Ayn Rand Fountainhead Teddy Bear. And we also have the Trump random tariff generator. So how this works is you pull his arm to generate a tariff, and he pulls a tariff out of his ass and crashes the stock market. And we have the home edition of Are You Smarter Than a Politician if you want to annoy your friends and neighbors. And we have the Ron Paul and the Murray Rothbard bobbleheads. And of course, we have the Lego Killdozer because nobody talks about the Killdozer more than Casey and me. Here's how it works. I am the government. Whatever I say goes. Scoring errors count. Life isn't fair. Suck it up, Buttercup. Nobody cares. Rules are the contestants can debate each other. They could veto each other's answers. They could tariff an answer. They could redistribute an answer. And of course, they start off with negative 500 points because the government gets paid first. Here's how scoring works. The chat controls the score. You can give or take up to 100 points from the contestants, and a little subscriber bonus. They can give or take up to 200 points because I'm the government and crony capitalism works for me. You slide me a few bucks, you get extra privileges that the working class doesn't get. There we go. I should have hit that slide. 200 points for the subscribers. That was from last show, so we don't need that. All right. Lightning round. Here we go. Stop it, Terry. Settle down, Terry, back there. All right, I'm putting Terry back. I'm putting Terry back in the control room. She handles the chat and the scoring. Make her life extremely hard. She's trying to make mine very hard tonight as well. So thank you, Terry. All right. Mike, a returning contestant. We're going to go with you first. First category is censorship. Should government ever decide what counts as misinformation?
Nobody should decide what misinformation is. Nobody. No. Facts are facts. Truth is truth. Information is information. Put it out there. See what happens.
All right. David, you. Should tech companies that censor speech lose legal protections?
I like that one. I'm going to give that one a yes. If you want to operate under the crony capitalist protections and be a quasi arm of the government, then you should have to also follow the rules that we put in place for the government. I think that goes for most of that kind of bureaucratic, fascist, government private company relationships across the board. If your entire paycheck is coming from the government, or you're relying on the government to protect your business model in some way, shape, or form, then yeah, you should have to follow the Constitution. And if you don't, you should lose those protections.
All right. Jake, to you. Should hate speech still be protected under the First Amendment?
Fuck yeah. All speech should be protected under the First Amendment. Doesn't matter what it is.
All right. Next category is rewriting history. Mike, to you. Should students learn both the good and bad of American history unfiltered?
They just talked about that one in the misinformation. Information is information. Good, bad, and different. I mean, there are drowned towns out there. Go look up how many black towns are now underwater. They don't teach that, but it just happens to be history. Yeah, teach it all.
All right. David, you. Should monuments stay standing even if modern politics disapproves of that figure?
Hmm. If modern politics, I don't think really matters. Modern society, I think, should be able to choose whether or not they want to still have statues up from previous things. There used to be a bunch of statues of King George all over the country before we tore them all down. I think that was fine to do. And I think that if people in a certain town or something like that now say, hey, we maybe learned the real history on Christopher Columbus, and maybe we don't want to like celebrate him as some hero that discovered America in our town. Yeah, they should be able to remove that. But I think it should have a lot more to do with like general societal consensus than what's politically correct or what the government says.
Okay. Jake, to you. Should renaming buildings and schools for political reasons stop altogether?
Yeah. I mean, it's named when it's named. When the building's built, they name it. Leave it what it is, unless there's someone else who privately buys that building and wants to change it because they privately own it. Otherwise, leave it alone.
Okay. All right. Mike, back to you. Categories identifying adversaries. Who poses the greatest threat? Is the federal government more dangerous to Americans than foreign enemies?
Yes, 100%. They're closer, and lately they have unfettered power to go in and kidnap you, and yeah, that's up close and personal. They're very dangerous.
All right. David, to you. Are unelected bureaucrats a bigger threat than elected politicians?
100% yes. They are. I think that they are in most cases, the actual problem. Most elected officials don't actually have the power that we think that they do, and we can remove them if we actually galvanize the population to do so. The other people that sit there for 20, 30, 40 years and need to keep their job security by continuing to make the government matter more in people's lives so that they can keep a job. Those are the real problem.
All right. Jake, to you. Are global corporations more powerful than most nations today?
Yeah. I mean, that's a no-brainer, yes.
All right. Mike, back to you. Is the media the real driver of division in America?
No. I don't think they help because they glorify the division and they selectively choose what we should be outraged about and what they report on. But are they the driver? No. I think the grocery store is the driver. Not having money is the driver, and we're looking for somebody to blame.
All right. David, to you. Do central bankers do more harm to freedom than foreign dictators?
Is there a big difference? In most cases, they're not from America, and they have a lot more power over us than anybody outside of the country. So, yeah, definitely.
The banking cartel. I'm with you. Jake, to you. Are political consultants manipulating voters more than foreign adversaries?
I mean, I don't know if there's any way to really know that for sure, but they definitely manipulate voters, if not as much as foreign adversaries. I think it's all kind of tools in the same toolbox.
All right. Mike, back to you. The category is federal law enforcement overreach. Should the FBI and CIA be stripped of domestic surveillance powers?
I thought we were closing the FBI. Didn't Kat Patel say it was going to be a museum day one if we got in?
Museum of the Deep State, right?
They should be stripped. Maryland has its own, Bureau of Investigation. We don't need a federal one. No.
All right. David, back to you. Should federal agents be required to wear body cameras like local police?
Yeah, I think that's one of the smartest things that's happened in recent years, because it really does protect both sides. Like, there are instances where the cops are in the right and they get accused falsely of doing something wrong, and it also is protecting them from that, as well as protecting the citizens from abuse. Just an all around good thing to be doing.
All right. Jake, to you. Should any federal agency have the power to raid private citizens' homes?
That's an easy no.
Okay. All right. We are at our first score break. If you have not entered your scores in the chat, please do so now. Let's jump into the chat and see what we got going on here. Kat reposted. Hey, Kat, thank you. This is all scripted. Yeah, you've seen the show enough to know that this is not scripted at all. It doesn't even go well a lot of times, so I doubt it's scripted. Brent's here after his big win the other night. 200 of the first contestant to prove they're subscribed to the Aiming Up podcast on YouTube. Little plug for Brent's show. Awesome show there. All right, 100 to David for keeping the historic statues. 200 to Mike for his T-shirt. Keep walking in the light, brother. 100 to Jake for supporting the Obama Presidential Center. Weird dimension, but okay. 31 to David for having an apartment that smells like mahogany and leather-bound books. 200 to Jake for the sick-ass wall of guitars. I knew that was coming. 200 to David. Body cams protect everyone. All right. So let's jump in and see where we're at score-wise here. It went kind of fast, and chat's kind of catching up here. So low scores so far, but we got Mike with 100, David with 67, and Jake got back to break even with 500 points, so he's at 0. Jake, how do you think it's going so far?
Fun. It's going great.
All right. What do you think, David?
I'm loving it.
I can't even move the camera so fast with these short answers. Mike, what do you think? You're in the lead.
I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to be a part of this. It's making me happy. Let's go.
Excellent. All right. Wow. All right. This is going fast. All right. Back to it. Mike, back to you.
Uh-oh.
Category surveillance state. Should every surveillance camera in America require a warrant to access?
I'm more as to why they should have a warrant to put it up. What do you mean access? I'm not sure we need that many surveillance cameras.
All right. I could go with that. I just think we just need to tell all the crackheads that there's bronze in them. So that would make them go away pretty fast, right?
There is copper in them. They are valuable as it is, especially red light cameras.
Yeah. We should just put that out on the internet or something. Or print it out, stick it to the pole.
Yes.
All right. David, to you. Should data collection without consent be considered digital trespassing?
This one's tough for me because I work in marketing and political consulting, and I use the data that's collected to do my job fairly often. I'm a big fan of accurate, good data. And I personally am of the opinion that if it was used correctly, it makes everybody's life better, because you don't want targeted ads and things for shit you don't want. If that could actually all be things that you're interested in, I feel like that would make life a little bit more fun. But at the same time, I'm a big advocate of privacy, and that includes your digital privacy. So I think you should have to agree to it, consent to it for that to happen. And if you do, then no, it's not trespassing. You let them in. But there should just be a pretty easy yes or no on most websites, which on a lot of them there are, and we just click yes, and then no, it's not trespassing.
So as long as you get paid, you're cool with it.
I just like it to be good. Like, I want the data to actually be accurate, so I'm not knocking on people's houses that don't live there anymore, or knocking on Democrats' houses for Republican candidates, or vice versa. I just want it to be accurate.
All right, maybe a camera in every house, or Alexa or whatever. All right, Jake, to you. Should facial recognition be outlawed in public spaces?
I mean, I think facial recognition should be outlawed in any spaces. I mean, unless you're going to consent to it in a private space, I guess I could see an argument to have it, certain things security wise, but any public spaces, absolutely, it shouldn't be allowed.
All right. Mike, back to you. Category is psychological operations, or PSYOPs. Should the government be banned from psychological influence programs on its own citizens?
Yes, 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 100% yes. Yeah, and in fact, it was until not too long ago. Yeah, it should be outlawed. It's terrible.
Okay. David, to you. Should foreign propaganda be labeled as clearly as nutrition facts?
No, because that gets into the first question to Mike, I think, where you then have to have somebody arbitrating what is or isn't propaganda. So does everything that's coming from the Russian side of the Russian-Ukraine war count as propaganda because it's from an enemy foreign government? How much of their side of the truth is actually allowed to get out? We then have a government control over speech and what is and isn't considered fact or fiction, and that gets dicey really quick.
All right. Jake, to you. Should psychological warfare be considered a violation of civil rights when used domestically?
Yeah, yes, it should. I can't see any excuse for any psychological warfare being allowed at all. So yes, it should.
Okay. Mike, back to you. Should the CIA disclose all historical mind control experiments publicly?
I don't know. Wow, I have no idea how many they did. I know about MK Ultra, but I'd love to see the list. Yeah, I think they should, and the results, and if it was informed consent or if they were just experimenting on people for fun. Yeah.
All right.
Maybe
David,
without
you.
the instructions on how to do it again, going public though.
I want to see if those contrails, from the airplanes are really. I got to see that.
Didn't they just give them all to like Facebook and Palantir anyways? Like, I think that they just gave them to those companies, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. David, you. Should any government agency using behavioral science on citizens require consent?
That one's easy. Yeah. Everything should require consent. I feel like that's a pretty basic building block of libertarianism or anarchism. We should definitely require consent.
Okay. Jake, to you. Should the U.S. military be barred from online influence campaigns targeting Americans?
I mean, I hate to keep saying yes to everything you asked me, but these are easy yes, slam dunks. I mean, you shouldn't be able to do any influence like that at all from any sort of government entity whatsoever. Military, bureaucrats, shouldn't matter.
All right. Mike, back to you. Category is psychedelics. Should adults have the right to use psychedelics without government permission?
I can cuss on here, right?
I
don't know when America became bitch made. When did somebody get to tell me what I could put into my body? No, can't nobody tell me what I'm going to take or not take. Yes, they should be banned from telling me what to do. Government can be struck 95%. Victimless crimes are not crimes. And if I want to take all of the mushrooms, it's not your business. And in fact, it's decriminalized in DC, right up the road. Magic mushrooms.
I'm going to go out and trademark bitch made in America. All right, David, to you. Should veterans have access to psychedelic therapy for PTSD?
Oh, easy out of the park, yes. It is one of the few things that have been proven to actually work, and there's a strong argument to be said that that's one of the reasons why it's been banned for so long.
All right. Jake, to you. Should drug laws be set locally, not federally?
There shouldn't be any drug laws. That's the easy answer. There should be no drug laws.
Okay. All right, Mike, back to you. Category is UFOs. Should secret government projects using taxpayer money be public knowledge?
It depends on the program. Some programs, just the use of it or knowledge of it would allow the bad guys to come up with countermeasures. I can't say government should have no secrets. I can't say that. That's silly. I can say that most of what we were doing in secret, other people were doing out in the open anyway, and physics is physics. So kind of.
Okay. David, to you. Should all UFO documents be declassified immediately?
Yeah, I think so. I'm really hesitant to kind of more agree with Mike's just point that he just made, because I agree with him very much so. But I don't know that any of the UFO documents would necessarily fall into that category. So let us know what you found, what's going on. And honestly, I feel like that's one of those things where all of the governments of the world should be working together with the people. Like, it's kind of a planetary thing. If aliens are going to attack or something like that, kind of all need to be on the same page there. There's no like, we're going to get through it and Russia's fucked.
All right. Jake, to you. Should citizens have the right to know about extraterrestrial contact claims?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to the other two questions. I mean, especially if it's stuff that taxpayer dollars are paying for to catalog this information and take these interviews and put them away. Like, anything that we're paying for should be transparent and accessible to anybody who's paying their taxes.
All right. Enter your scores in the chat if you have not done so already. We're moving kind of fast, so hopefully the chat's keeping up with us here. Dan's got 100 to Mary's Land Mike. 100 to David for smart books behind him if we're playing that game. Still driving 200 to the rookie Jake. Plus 5 to all three of them for successfully rebuffing my romantic advances in their DMs. 100 to David for listing his conflicts of interest. 100 to David. 100 to Jake. I naturally can't recognize people's faces or names. What's up, Ocean Blue? Minus 100 to Jake for answering yes to every question. You're making Free think that he's asking good questions. 100 to Jake, psyops are bad. 100 to David, everything should require consent. 50 to Mike for bitch made.
By David. That was David.
That was by David. Nice.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Mike got 200 for taking all the mushrooms. 200 to Mike for bitch made. 100 to Mike for all the shrooms. 100 quantum rainbow alien points to Mike for decriminalizing mushrooms. Thanks for throwing all the emojis in there, Scientific. That made it a lot harder on me. 200 to Jake, no drug laws. 100 to Jake for questioning my questions. Yep. F&A Mike, 200 for bitch made. Lots of points to Mike and David for based answers on psychedelics. Let's get weird. We're way fucking past weird at this point. So 200 to Jake for having zero nuances in his answer. A simple yes or no would speed this all up. 200 to Jake for declassifying Martian abduction of our citizens. 100 to David for inadvertently referencing Independence Day worldwide. 100 to Free for taking shrooms before writing all these questions. I am dead ass sober right now. I want to throw that out there. 100 to David for taking me to his leader, and 200 to David for declassification. What is going on? All right, let's check out the scores. Mike's in the lead with 1,005. Jake 100 behind with 905, and David with 772. Even the scores are getting weird. So let's continue back to it. All right, Mike, to you. The category is cryptocurrency, and this is brought to you by our sponsor, Xano. Mike, should crypto ownership be as private as gun ownership?
Yeah, any ownership you have that you don't want public should be kept private. Yes. Yes.
All right.
Can I debate that answer?
Okay. Let's do it. Mike and David, hold on. So I'm going to remove me and Jake from the screen. David, you got 15 seconds to make your case. And Mike, you got 15 seconds to rebut his case. So
I just want to. I think it was a trick question because gun ownership in most places in the country is not private or secret at all. It's a lot of states have full-on gun registries of who owns what, and you have to have background checks to buy guns in most states. I think crypto should be a lot less public than that.
You actually let the government know how many guns you have?
I mean, I don't, but you're supposed to.
Come talk to me. We'll get you handled. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll handle that. We'll get you settled. I got a friend with a 3D printer, and parts is parts.
Based.
All right. Yeah, you shouldn't have to tell the government how many tanks you own. That's the correct answer there. So, all right. All right. Back to you, David. Should the U.S. ban a government-run digital dollar?
I always have a problem with banning things in general. I'm usually more open to it if we're banning the government from doing something. But even this, I don't know if I would agree with that. There's a strong possibility that there are ways for it to go okay. It's a much more dangerous, slippery slope towards authoritarianism, but there's also an argument of keeping up technologically with the rest of the world that I think it's going to be inevitable at some point.
But a government run?
And the government already runs the currency that we use at the moment. If it just turns digital and we completely get rid of cash in 200-300 years or something, like, I think we're moving in a direction just as a world society that we're probably not going to work with government-run paper money for much longer. I wouldn't want us to be the only country that doesn't have a digital dollar and still operates on paper money. That I think would have pretty bad repercussions on the global trade and whatnot.
Yeah, but the Federal Reserve, they already control it, and they're a private bank. They control our money and our money supply. They'd still be controlling it most likely. And I mean, we're worth what, 2.5 cents compared to our dollar from 1913, 98.5 or 97.5% fall or deflation. I don't know, man. I'm looking at $50 candy bars if we go digital dollar. I don't know.
I mean, I don't like government controlled currency at all. But in a world where it exists, like we have, I think barring them from being able to advance that in some way, shape, or form, I think is ideally we would all be using crypto anyway, especially if we're talking in the future as technology advances to put us in that place as a country. I would hope that crypto would be keeping up with it.
I'm with Mike on this. I don't agree with the government back part at all. I mean, I get David's point, but I just the whole fact that the government's involved in it as it moves forward when we should be ending the Fed and doing all the decentralizing of all the money, whether it's digital or not. I just don't see a way to agree with anything government run when it comes to digital currency. But I'm a crypto idiot, so what do I know?
Well, any programmable currency controlled by the government means they'll be able to demonetize people for belonging to groups or going to protests. So yeah, I'm with you guys on I think it's a terrible thing and we should not allow it to happen by whatever means necessary. All right. Jake, to you. Should citizens be free to use any currency they choose?
Yeah. I mean, if someone's going to take it as currency, if another person deems that it has value, we should be able to use whatever currency we want. Yes.
Excellent. All right. Mike, to you. Categories ending the Fed. Should the Federal Reserve be audited annually by the public?
No, I think they should be tarred and feathered, run out of town, and allowed to keep their ill-gotten gains and their lives. They just have to leave and never come back. They should never be audited. They should be ended.
All right. David, to you. Should interest rates be set by markets instead of central planners?
Oh, easily, yes. That's something that completely has to do with the individual transaction. It shouldn't be anything that's set completely even a company-wide policy of just this is our interest rate would be insane. So trying to set it nationally, I think is crazy.
Okay, Jake, to you. Should abolishing the Fed be considered a path to real fiscal freedom?
Yes, absolutely. I think we need to do that tomorrow, and we'd be on track to financial freedom. I mean, it's obviously we got 100 and some years of shit to undo, but the short answer, as I'm getting points for having, yes.
All right. All right, Mike, back to you. The category is the current federal government shutdown. Should shutdowns be seen as proof government is too big?
Everybody keeps saying shut down, but we're still sending carrier groups to Venezuela. They're still pulling taxes out of the check. And whenever you call up random office in the government, unless it's somebody getting paid, they answer the phone and they're doing stuff. I don't know that we've shut down enough government.
All right. Oh, wait, we got a nuke in here. So here we go. Brent is nuking David for allowing a CBDC dollar. So yeah, so let's see if I can find this. Yeah, here we go. And there it goes. There it is. There's the nuke. So, all right. So his score is back down to 0. Let's just show that real quick. Yeah. So he lost 1,072 points, went down to 0 for supporting the government having a CBDC. So, all right. All right, David, see if you can get back on the board here. Should states take over services whenever Washington shuts down?
Depends on the service, because most of them should just go away. Like Mike's saying, we haven't shut down enough, I don't think. So most of those things, no. If it's something that's actually important or keeping people alive, then yeah, the state should pick up the slack. And then when the federal government reopens, just don't give that power back to them.
Love it. Jake, to you. Should government shutdowns trigger automatic budget cuts across the board?
Yeah, I mean, I think that back to Mike's point, nothing really seems like it's shut down. And to add on to what David just said, everything should be to the states anyway. So I just don't see much of what they're getting for the money or what we're getting for the money.
All right. Mike, back to you. Category is economic manipulation. Should emergency spending require proof of emergency?
I don't know why we would do emergency spending at the federal level. We already have a mechanism for any real emergency, and that's at the state level. You got a Maryland Emergency Management Agency. Each state has one. We got National Guards. I don't know why we need a federal response to emergencies. I don't know why we need one. Even 9/11, New York could have handled that.
For the most part, we did.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time
Except
we have
for
an
letting
emergency,
it happen. That's what the federal government did there.
yeah. Every time we have an emergency in Florida, it takes us 5 years to get our money back to do half the job that they're supposed to do or whatever it is. But yeah, I'm with you. David, to you. Should the Treasury have to publish who profits most from new money printing?
That would be kind of fun. Yeah. That would be an interesting thing to read, because that would be hard. I feel like that would be difficult to accurately speculate, but I would be interested in seeing them try.
All right. Jake, to you. Should deficit spending require a voter referendum?
I mean, deficit spending shouldn't be allowed in the first place. I mean, I think that's the easy answer. I like Warren Buffett's plan where you tie Congress to it, and when you have a federal deficit, then they're ineligible for re-election.
Yeah, that's a great plan.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mike, to you. Category is immigration. Should local communities have the power to set their own immigration policies?
Immigration shouldn't actually be a problem. It really shouldn't be, except our foreign policy is so messed up. I got to go back to the beginning of this question to even give a proper response, but you should be able to, if somebody wants to live in an area, they should be able to get to it. I am an open bordersitarian, I guess. I don't believe in borders. Just don't.
Yeah, we don't need borders between the states. It's foreign policy that makes us need borders around the country, right? I'm with you. David, should immigrants be required to find private sponsorship instead of federal support?
I mean, I don't think that they should have federal support per se, but I also think it's hard to find that private sponsorship until after you're here and can actually, try to make your case to some of those private groups. So I guess neither. Am I allowed to say neither?
Sure, I'll allow it. All right. Jake, to you. Should the border be managed by states, not Washington?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe unless we're being attacked, but if it's just a matter of immigration for borders, then every state should be able to control their own lines. But I agree that we don't need borders between the states. So,
all right. Enter your scores in the chat if you have not done so already. Chat's picking up a little bit here. Cat's got 100 to David for not letting the government know how many guns he has. All right, I'm going back. All right, 200 to anyone who can get me through traffic. He's missing the game show and the World Series. Lots of points to me for being dead ass sober. That was a mistake on my part. 100 to David for using a debate. Minus 100 to me for being dead ass sober. Here we go. 100 to Mike for tragically losing all of his weapons in a boating accident. Did that one. That wasn't a debate. Minus 50 to David. He wants a refund. 100 to Mike for wanting money to be separate from the government and free his ex-wife. Wait, what? Minus 200 to David for the digital money. That was not a popular answer, David. 200 to Jake for decentralized currency. 100 to David for the interest rate being set by the market. 200 to Mike, we haven't shut down enough government. 200 to Mike for noticing the government isn't shut down. 100 to David for disaster relief. 100 to Mike for wanting a harder shutdown of the government. 200 to Mike for state level response. 100 to David for the funny smelling cigarette. 100 to David for auditing the Fed for printing money. 200 to Jake, fire them when they can't balance the budget. Minus 200 to Mike for being pro open borders. 100 to Mike for borders. 200 to Mike for open borders. Yeah, you got a bad situation going on there in the UK, surely. Minus 100 to David for asking permission before answering. Free men don't ask permission. I hear that all the time. I feel like I would get tagged in that meme sometimes. 100 to Jake for enjoying capitalism. And minus 200 to Jake for open borders. We are all open borders, by the way, just so if you want to sprinkle the infield on that. We're anti-government causing trouble, though, so it's a slippery slope.
Well, but the only reason we need to secure the borders is our foreign policy is terrible. We're sending boats to Venezuela to make sure we have to close borders harder to the south right now. We're bombing.
Well, Gaza's the perfect example. We paid to destroy it. Now they want to send them here. It's like, well, maybe if we would have just not paid to destroy it, then we wouldn't have that problem. Seems pretty straightforward.
Man, that's going to be the Gaza Riviera. That's going to be hot. You should buy some land there. Go claim some land. Claim some land now. It's yours.
I've been calling it Gaza Palooza. It's going to be a casino and a theme park and beaches. Yeah.
Just like those old wetlands in Maui. They're going to redistribute those to Oprah and all the billionaires and the guys who used to own it. Oh, well.
Yeah, they sold a bunch of the wildfires real estate to the Chinese already too. So yeah, seems like they always have a plan before the disaster even actually happens. So, all right, let's check the scores. Mike in the lead, 1805. Jake with 1305, and David clawed back 200 points after the disastrous answer on the CBDC. So, all right, let's get back to it here. Next category to you, Mike, war and fear politics. Should national security be allowed as an excuse for secrecy anymore?
For some technical issues, maybe, like I said, but for all the folks who are over there bombing, no, we need a good reason. We need a clear and present threat, or we should be more open that we're doing it for oil and trace minerals. I mean, something.
All right. David, you. Should every war justification be independently audited before Congress votes?
I said it. Who would be doing that auditing process if not Congress during that kind of process before the vote that has to happen of deliberation on anything that's brought to the floor? I think that anything that is brought to the floor to possibly be a war should definitely have good reasonings behind it and fact check. Yeah, I'll say yes.
All right. Jake, to you. Should any politician caught lying to start a war face prison time?
Yeah, absolutely. And let's find the worst prison on the planet and send them there. It doesn't have to be here.
I like it. Let's vote on the prison.
El Salvador.
So, sounds like a good reality show. You get to vote on what prison to send them to. All right.
Prison time doesn't even seem like it's enough. I mean, if you're going to lie to start a war where people are going to die, just getting locked in a cage doesn't seem like enough of a punishment.
You talking Christmas ornaments?
Maybe. Let's go.
All right. I could get behind that one. Mike, to you. Category is science and truth control. Should scientific funding from the government be fully transparent to the public?
Yes, up until we ban it, because all that stuff should be taken care of at university and through studies. I'm not sure why the government is. I get why we're investing, but that investment can be problematic. So we need to really figure out how we're investing and what we're investing in. And since we can't trust government, shut it all off till we get trustworthy people. Yeah.
Yeah, like I doubt that would happen, but I like the sentiment. All right, David, to you. Should science be separated from politics by law?
No. I mean, I know this has already been an unpopular answer for me, but I don't really like banning things very often, especially not just an arbitrary line between two things. I think most of the things that politics should actually be somewhat involved in, like if we are to have a government, the things that they should be involved in are fairly explicitly scientifically related. So I like when my politicians actually know what the fuck they're talking about.
All right. I also don't see politicians knowing what they're talking about either, but
Massey has a science degree for a reason, right?
That's all right. So you meant politician singular, the one that they'll completely
Rand Paul
ignore.
also has a scientific degree. He's a doctor.
He's a doctor.
Yeah.
The two that weren't invited to the White House the other day, right?
Right.
All right. Jake, to you. Should citizens decide which science they fund through taxes?
Yeah, I mean, I think science should be funded privately anyway. So I would agree. I would say that I don't think it should be funded with taxes in the first place. But yes, if we're gonna pay for it through taxes, then yes.
All right. Mike, back to you. Category is national security and secrecy. Should secret courts like FISA be abolished?
I don't even know what that is. Yeah, they should be abolished. Yes. Yes.
FISA is where they get all the warrants that they shouldn't be getting.
Yeah, that FISA 702 crap. Yeah, ban those. Yes.
Okay.
Ban secret warrants. Ban surveillance of folks. Yes, get rid of it. Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to start a new game show. I don't know what it is, but ban it anyways. Should be a whole category.
Well, it's not banned. Take it away from the government to be able to control. See, I don't think a lot should be banned. I just don't think the government should be in charge of it.
Yeah.
If that
When
makes
I-
more sense.
And when I say ban, I mean that they should have the power taken away from them being able to do it at all, like abolish it or get rid of it or, any of those things. Yeah. All right. David, to you. Should classification expire automatically after 5 years?
Yeah, I think in almost every circumstance where you could use national security or something like that as an excuse for keeping something a secret, more than 5 years afterwards, there's almost a 0% chance that the foreign intelligence agencies haven't figured it out by now. Declassify it.
All right. Jake, to you. Should government employees face penalties for classifying information that should be public?
Yeah, I mean, again, it depends on if we're talking about something that's an imminent threat, then sure, it's classified until it's not a threat. But I don't even think 5 years is. I think 5 years is way too long. I think everything's moving so quickly. It's not going to take that long to figure out if it is or not. So,
All right. Mike, back to you. Categories: corporate collusion. Should government corporate partnerships be considered fascism by definition?
See, I don't. And that's a hard one. The collusion always happens because the merchant class has always had impact on the political class. But should it be considered fascism? I don't know. It depends on how it's executed. But I definitely don't think that corporations should be able to buy politicians and influence their decisions that much that it goes against the needs of we the people. I guess if that makes sense. Some collusion's going to happen, but it should never go directly against the needs of the people and the constituents.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. David, you. Should political donations be publicly traded companies be outlawed?
I'm of the opinion that political donations from companies should be outlawed in general. Should be a political organization or private individuals. Whether or not a company wants to, there should be that two-step process that we do normally see where they give money to a nonprofit and the nonprofit gives the money to the various political entities. And that would be really hard to shut down across the board, I think. I like it when I get to get paid by Philip Morris and J.R. Reynolds to shut down government overreach. That was kind of a fun thing to be able to do. So I wouldn't want to take that away completely.
All right.
Again, as long as I get paid, I'm good.
Ban it all except if David gets paid is the theme of tonight's show. So, all right. Jake, to you. Should corporations have fewer rights than citizens?
corporations shouldn't have rights. They're not. I mean, citizens are the ones that have rights. Corporations aren't people. They don't have rights.
Yeah. Citizens United did us bad.
Yeah.
Citizens
Agreed.
United gave us a bunch of problems.
And made corporations people, which is
Yeah.
And money's free speech, so you can give it unlimitedly, basically.
I think
Yeah,
we're on the same page there.
Yeah, there's trouble.
all right. Mike, back to you. Categories foreign aid. Should we end all foreign military aid unless Congress declares war?
We should end all foreign aid, period. Period. We can come up with a special appropriation if needed to send it, but the only aid I actually like the idea of is humanitarian aid, and that's not what folks mean when they say aid. Humanitarian aid actually says humanitarian. All of our aid is automatically military defense.
All right. We lost David for a second here, so I'm just going to pretend like this was a planned break. But all right, I think he's back. David, should any nation receiving U.S. aid be audited publicly?
Yeah, let's do that while we're also stopping sending them aid. For
Okay.
sure. I'm curious what they did in the time frame that they were getting aid from us.
Yeah, I liked when Zelensky was like, "You said you gave us, $250 billion. We think we only got, 20 billion or whatever he said." all that money's just missing. That's not even close. All right, Jake, to you. Should countries that censor citizens lose American funding?
I mean, I hate to echo here, but we shouldn't be funding other countries anyways. We are dead flat broke. We have no money to give anybody. We don't have money to pay our interest. We shouldn't be funding anything.
I agree. All right, Mike, back to you. Oh, no, we're at scores again.
Go.
All right, enter your scores in the chat if you have not done so already. Let's jump in here. Brent gave 200 to Mike to counter the minus 200 for the other guy that doesn't understand borders. And then, another 200 and 100 to Jake for wanting to send politicians to Ohio. Yeah, that sounds awful. 200 to Mike, ban federal funding of research. 100 to David, politics and science should both be evidence-based. Minus 200 to David for not keeping science as fucking far as humanly possible away from politics. 200 to Mike for banning FISA 702 after the weed chuckle. There's an actual study they did, by the way, they gave LSD to octopuses. Would that be octopi? Or I don't know.
It's octopi scientific.
Yeah, I feel like that was an unforced error by Scientific there. 200 to David. I like when politicians know what they're talking about. I don't think that's ever happened. I'm going back to that. 200 to Mike for banning FISA without even knowing what it was. That's based. Define fascism. Pretty much anything that's going on nowadays with our federal government. Good for you, David, for advocating for overreach. 200. 100 to Mike. Citizens United was the worst thing since Free's mullet days. How did you get my high school pictures? That's a true story, actually. 200 to Mike. End all foreign aid. I had the business in the front and party in the back. It was kind of sweet in the 80s. 200 to David for public audits. 200 to David, stop all foreign aid. 100 to Mike for defending ending foreign aid. 200 to Jake, stop funding foreign countries. Let's check out the scores. Oh, I forgot to refresh. Hang on. That worked. There we go.
Jeez.
All right. Mike with 2805. Jake with 1605. And David's making a comeback here, 800 points. Let's jump into our last round here. This is pick one. All right. Mike, to you. What's the biggest threat to free speech today? Big tech, mainstream media, universities, government agencies, or public outrage?
That's a good question. Government agencies. Mainstream, I don't know. Toss up. Government agency, mainstream media. Go with government agencies. Final answer.
Final answer. All right. David, to you. What's America's top immigration problem? Border security, bureaucracy, labor manipulation, human trafficking, or welfare abuse?
You said we could pick a sixth thing because it's been mentioned a few times already tonight. I think the biggest immigration problem is that we keep blowing up people's houses all over the place, so they have to become immigrants to somewhere.
That's true too, and paying to blow them up too. So yeah. I'm not a fan of that. Jake, to you. What should happen to all UFO documents? Declassify now, review first, release in parts, keep secret, or let Congress decide?
Declassify now. I mean, the cat's out of the bag. The pot's boiling, whatever you want to call it. We need to let it all out and let people sift through it, make it all transparent.
All right. Mike, back to you. What's America's biggest current threat? China, federal overreach, corporate monopolies, foreign lobbyists, or political division?
Federal overreach. Because what one side does, the other's going to do. And all the horrible stuff that everybody says Trump is doing, it's going to be about the same on the other side. They're just going to call it misinformation instead of fake news. Yeah. Federal overreach. Yeah.
All right. David, to you. Should psychedelics be treated like alcohol, medicine, religion, controlled substances, or personal property?
Personal property. With a little bit of medicine. Like I think all of those answers can almost kind of sort of go together, minus the alcohol. It shouldn't be regulated and treated as taboo like alcohol. It's personal property, but it's a little bit of a religion and some medicine as well.
All right. Jake, to you. Who benefits most from foreign aid? Foreign elites, U.S. contractors, politicians, NGOs, or citizens abroad?
They're in all of the above. I think the NGOs probably are the starting point for it, but it flows out from there.
Okay. All right, Mike, back to you. Which agency is most out of control? The FBI, CIA, ATF, IRS, or Homeland Security?
Man, any other time I'd have said FBI, but Homeland is going crazy right now. Homeland is off the chain. I think they just bought 2 new jets. Did y'all hear that? Big ones.
No, really?
No, they just bought 2, rented, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah. But financed with our kids' money is probably more likely.
I mean, the government's closed. How are they closing deals on jets? Yeah.
Yeah, right. The used jet market is still open, but the rest of the government's closed, right? Yeah. All right. David, to you. What does a government shutdown prove? Government is bloated, government is broken, government is political, government is powerless, or government is unnecessary?
Again, all of the above, but mostly political, because as it's been said so many times tonight, the government's not shut down. If the government were actually shut down, this is going to be a bad take, but people would be noticing. There would be things happening and people's lives would be changing a little bit if the entire federal government was shut down. Like EBT, the military, everything just went away tomorrow. We would notice. We didn't because it's not actually shut down. It's just political theater.
Agreed. Jake, to you. What's the Fed's biggest failure? Inflation, debt, secrecy, cronyism, or bank failures?
Biggest failure, I'm going to say inflation. I think that, again, kind of leads to the rest. But by devaluing the dollar like they have, by just printing money every time they want to buy stuff, like more jets for Homeland, then that's the biggest one, I think, is just the rampant runaway inflation.
All right. Mike, back to you. What causes more harm to Americans? The IRS, the Fed, the media, the Pentagon, or Congress?
Man, that was I'm going with the Fed. I'm going with the Fed. And that's a lot of competition because IRS and Congress are terrible. I mean, terrible.
All right. David, you. What's more urgent? Protecting borders, fixing bureaucracy, ending subsidies, punishing traffickers, or decentralizing enforcement?
Most urgent, I would say punishing traffickers. That's a pretty bad one. I think we should release the Epstein files as soon as humanly possible. I think that everybody that hasn't signed that discharge petition from Massey should also get locked up with the clients. And yeah, I think it's the scapegoat for so many of the issues that we have. The excuse for the ramp up in immigration control and a bunch of other things are all centered around usually human trafficking. And if that could actually go away or be taken care of reasonably, that would, I think, solve a lot of problems.
All right. Jake, to you. Which country should lose U.S. funding first? Ukraine, Israel, China, Pakistan, or every country?
I mean, I appreciate the alley oop for you, but every country. That's an easy one. Every last one of them.
All right. Mike, back to you. What's the main reason history gets rewritten? Politics, cultural trends, national pride, censorship, or ignorance?
Ignorance. Ignorance. I used to think if all the information was out there, all that would change. Nobody could lie. People just don't care. They pick a side and justify the buffoonery of their side, just like the other side doesn't get any bennies for actually doing well. Ignorance.
All right. David, to you. Who should control research on psychedelics? Private scientists, universities, the FDA, states, or crowd-funded institutions?
The first and last, I feel like, are basically the same answer. The private scientists are going to need a little bit of crowdfunding and some institutional backing, but it should all be private.
All right. Jake, to you. Why are UFOs a political issue? Funding, secrecy, distraction, fear, or power?
Man, I hate to all of the above you again, but I think the biggest thing probably is secrecy, but every single one of those I could make an argument for.
All right. Last three questions. Mike, to you. Who's the worst censor in modern America? Corporate sponsors, social media companies, schools, federal agencies, or the mainstream media?
Mainstream media. They, even when they got answers, they don't release them. And when they have the chance to show stuff, they ignore it and they follow the narrative. It's chilling.
All right. David, to you. What's the best use of shutdown time? Audit agencies, cut spending, reform budgets, fire redundancies, or reopen smarter?
I'll go with the last one because it contains most of the other ones, I'd say. As if we have to reopen it. Again, if pretending that it's actually shut down, if we have to reopen it without any redundant hires, without any ridiculous spending. I think that we can easily say what is or isn't necessary, especially if we go a month or two without actually having it.
All right. Last question of the night to Jake. Who benefits most from the Fed's power? Banks, politicians, corporations, investors, or no one?
I'm going to go corporations, just because when we're funding wars, the corporations are the ones that are making the stuff for those wars and capitalizing on what the Fed's doing.
All right. And that is it for the night. So enter your scores in the chat. Tell us who you think won, and also tell us what you thought of the show. Let's jump into the chat one last time here. Anarchy Television's here. Welcome. Where is Americans need to stop funding our own enslavement? Yeah, that's a great point. Minus 100 to Mike for thinking he's on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Yeah, we're libertarians. We're not going to be millionaires. 100 to David for picking a different one. 100 to Jake for transparency. 100 to Dave. Don't create homeless. Won't be no homeless. 100 to David. Alcohol will lower your testosterone to freeze levels, and nobody wants that. Hey, wait a second. 200 to David for shutdown being political. 200 to David for political theater. 100 to Jake for inflation. 200 to Dave, government shutdown is political theater. 400 to David for trafficking being the most urgent. 100 to Mike for picking the Fed is the most harmful. Even the Epstein files were to be released unredacted. Do you think anyone will be punished? Absolutely not. I do not. The Federal Reserve is not part of America. The Federal Reserve and the IRS are private corporations. Phil Raines here. What's up, Phil? 100 to David for wanting to stop blowing up people's homes and their watercraft. Zach's here. What's up, Zach? Everybody gets 100 for being based. That was nice of you. One thing that is good about the shutdown is the lack of borrowing. No, that continues on. A DHS agent just took unregulated organic shrooms grown in the ashes of Gaza and crashed into the Federal Reserve after thinking it was a UFO mothership. 200 to Jake for all of the above. 100 to Mike for having similar hair. Minus 10 to Jake. UFO is distraction. And 200 to David. Reopen without redundant hires or unnecessary agencies. So let's see here. All right. Let's jump to the scores one last time and see who won. And Mike's the big winner tonight, 3,015 points. Jake with 2,695. And the nuke really hurt David there. He got back to 1,900 points, but just, stepped on one landmine there in a question and got the nuke. So what did you think, David? Third place.
As always, I had a lot of fun. I had a couple of bad answers according to the chat, but I stick by them anyway.
And plug the show while I got you up here.
Definitely check out Fight for Liberty. Check out what I've been sipping on this whole time, some Blood of Tyrants wine and their Liquid Freedom Energy tea. They're like my favorite sponsor that I have. So go check them out, run by based anarchists and libertarians, and just some awesome marketing and messaging behind it. And it's great. 0 sugar, 0 calories, raspberry, yerba mate. It's got 100 milligrams of caffeine. Go check it out.
Nice. And there's all of David's information. The Fight for Liberty podcast on YouTube and Rumble. On X, you can follow him at David Fite and Fight for Liberty. Thanks for being here, David. Appreciate you. And
thanks for having me back.
Second place went to Jake on his first try here. What do you think, Jake?
Oh, the blast. I noticed everybody's comment about being done in record time, but I took the lightning round thing literally, I guess. I was just trying to hammer those yes, no's. But no, it's a fun show. I appreciate you having me on, and hopefully I get to do it again sometime.
Awesome. And you can follow Jake at Whiskey Smiles on X, and check him out and look for his next project, or go back and check his old shows. They're really excellent. Can't recommend them enough. Thanks for being here, Jake. Appreciate you. And Mike is the big winner tonight. What'd you think, Mike?
I'm jealous of Jake's kettlebell collection. That's one of the, and I had a really good time, man. I wanted Terry to use the other picture of me where my face was covered, because I'm kind of ashamed to be a libertarian lately, man. It only takes 5% of the nation to actually foment political change, and we can't, as a party, pick up 5% to get these idiots out of office. When you got Trump or Biden as the nominees, I mean, it's depressing. I'm depressed. So I'm gonna go join David and what he's doing when I go upstairs.
All right. Well, you can follow Mike on X. He is Mike Scott, one word on X. And he wanted to give a shout out to our buddy Maj Toure, who's Maj Toure 999, and also Black Guns Matter on X. And you can join Solutionary University for a $100 donation. They're trying to buy the building they do all their training in Philadelphia. You couldn't spend money better than giving to Solutionary University and Maj and Black Guns Matter. Thanks for giving them a shout out. An excellent organization. Let's put Terry back up here. What do you think, Terry?
Mike, I can't believe you're still whining about that picture.
That's because I haven't passed the joint.
I don't know about wine.
Yeah, okay, you know what? I'm going to share the picture online, because he says he wanted to hide his face because he was ashamed of the whole libertarian, and the hat he has on says libertarian.
I mean, you got to represent.
You just,
It's like being a trauma victim. I'm an abuse victim. You cover your face, but you still represent.
You guys did great. I appreciate all three of you, and chat. You guys know I love you, and be watching for the picture of shame. I am going to share that thing now for sure. Free, you did good tonight. Questions, lickety split.
Thank you.
Enjoy the weekend, everybody.
And you can follow me and Terry on X. I am Freedom for Us for All. She is Bats T76. Our sweet gear is at freedomsuperstore.com. Please follow us on YouTube and Rumble. We're trying to get those numbers up so we can get in their creators programs. So any help you can give us there would be great. And thank you to Xano. Your privacy matters. Choose Xano, the leading blockchain platform that prioritizes confidentiality and security. And if you know nothing about the space, an excellent place to start is intro.xano.org. Thank you to our subscribers. If you want to subscribe to us on X and help support us, you can get all of this cool stuff and, support our show and help us produce this twice a week. And if you want to sponsor the show, contact us at studio@freedomuncut.com. Appreciate y'all for doing this. Appreciate everybody in the chat. I'm going to go test my testosterone levels. So thank you for the heads up on that. And we will see you guys back Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And enjoy your weekend. Be safe, everybody, and peace.